Today we have Big Hass in the house.
Yes, sir. Salam alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Big Hass or Big Haas or Big
That's a good question. Hassan.
Hassan.
So my name's Hassan, but yeah, people know me as Big Hass, and yeah, that's it. Period.
But exactly, that's it. That's as far as you go. End of podcast. Thanks for coming in. It was great. But let's talk about a few things that I want to start off with. Originally Saudi.
Yes, I'm from Saudi Arabia. Born, raised. Jeddah is my hometown. Originally, we are from Medina Munawwara.
But before that,
Yeah.
I want to know where the blue eyes come from.
Yeah.
Like,
My grandma, so basically we have, there's a lot of Turkish, South African roots,
okay.
great ancestors maybe.
Yeah.
But what I want to say is that there's a lot of people from Medina, especially that, obviously because of, it's one of the two holy cities in Saudi Arabia. A lot of people
Migrated over there.
Yeah, a lot of, so there's a lot of blue-eyed Saudis, believe it or not, guys.
Really?
Yes, we exist. I keep saying it. We exist. There's a lot of blue-eyed Saudi. I'm not the only one.
Yeah, but I mean, you say it like it's a 50-50 thing. Like,
No,
it's not a 50-50.
Generally, no. Speaking, yes.
Yeah.
A lot of people, don't think I'm even Arab or whatever it is. But man, what I have to say about that is that we're human first before we become Saudi, before we become Muslim, Christian. You are a human first. So that's kind of my thing. And I know I come off serious like that.
No,
but that's,
of course. Makes all the sense in the world, man.
So this is where I am. But yeah,
you found the right one to go down that path.
I know.
You're not going to find another one like me, bro.
Yeah.
I just pick up my books, my Rumi and Hafizan and all of these people there. I just bring them out and just put them in.
Bless, man.
So how did you get into hip-hop in Saudi? Because... Okay, again, this is not I'm not just generalizing, going, oh, Saudi Arabia, hip hop, because I'm an Arab as well. I know what.
Yeah.
Everywhere is forward, but I'm talking about in the time.
Yeah.
Like hip hop in Saudi Arabia now, okay, that's a normal, like you wouldn't bat an eyelid. But at the time how old were you? Like 15, 16 when you first got into.
Yeah, see, we can't pinpoint one kind of, moment. I would say, so I started learning English when I was 17.
Okay.
That's the first time. Why? Because as a Saudi, you were not allowed to go to international schools. And the school I was in didn't teach good English, let's say. My dad one day, may his soul rest in peace and power, walked into the house and said, Hassan, you're just getting fatter and stupider. I had like a big afro back then. And I was like, why? And he's like, you don't speak English. And then, this is when I was 16, 17, he's like, you have to really learn English. And this is where we flew from Jeddah to Sharjah. Okay. And I started learning English back, started getting into music generally, started getting into basketball. Basketball is life for me. Started listening to the commentators, how they talk.
Playing as well or just?
Playing, yes. Nice. Basketball is life. Yeah. And
my wife would like that. She was a pro basketball player.
Wow.
Yeah, sure.
That's dope.
Union College, yeah.
Shout out to that. Yeah. I really think basketball is like, it saved me. We'll talk about that. But yeah, this is how it started, and I started learning English. But then the hip hop element came when I went back to Saudi. I was always listening to music generally. It was alternative rock, heavy metal, that
English
stuff.
Though.
English, yeah. But then I got hit with something called the Arab hip-hop movement, or BUS. What is that? There were four main artists. Loki, who's an Iraqi British MC, good friend of mine, now, which is crazy to say. Narsi, who's an Iraqi Canadian MC. Shadia Mansour, Palestinian British MC. And Umar Effendim, a Syrian American MC. So now I got hit with those four, started researching. This was in, Taqriban 2007.
Okay.
This is where I got into, I got to do something.
Loki was pretty fresh then.
Oh, yeah.
He was green then.
Yeah. So I got hit with these four MCs, and then I started researching Arabic hip-hop. Back then, there was no bloggers.
You got hit with them there in Saudi?
No, in Saudi, yeah.
How did Loki get to Saudi?
Research. Okay. I bumped into them.
Okay.
And that's why I said it found me. I was like kind of just researching on YouTube. I found Loki and his song "Long Live Palestine," and I was like, you gotta know that Saudi Arabia, we don't talk much about politics, and we don't talk much about, especially our brothers and sisters in Palestine. So I was not educated at all, zero. So people like Loki were my social news to educate me about that.
Mm.
And that was what got me into, wow, this hip hop thing, you know,
Yeah.
like started researching what is hip hop.
Yeah.
And to be even more direct with you, it was more of a, wow, I felt something. I felt my mind elevated because I'm listening to these MCs. I want everybody to feel the same.
Yeah.
Hence why I started a blog called Revolt.
Okay.
So this is where it kind of started. It was like, it took more than one thing for me to start. I was like, how come we don't have like these guys playing on the radio? How come they're not famous? How come?
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm going to start a blog to talk about it.
Yeah.
And, you know, subhanAllah, I started the blog called Revolt in Saudi Arabia. But I'm not revolting against the government. Or it's Re-Volt, which is a mixed words between revolution, because I wanted to revolt against the stupid media, the mass media that we have that keep giving us bullshit content.
Electricity.
And voltage, which is my dream is to have a radio station one day. Like to own a radio station.
Yeah. Man, inshallah, man. You never know, man. You're taking the right steps to go
Let's go.
there. So how was that when you first brought Revolt out there? How was that taken by people? Yeah, perceived.
Wallahi, man, to be honest with you, a lot of people are like, why Revolt in Saudi Arabia? That's a bad name. Like, you know, that's, you know. And I was like, listen, I'm not doing anything wrong against my culture or religion or the country. This is not it. So a lot of friends were listening in, and I used to blog a lot. Just blog, write things and stuff like that. And then I launched an online radio station where only 5 of my friends would tune in. Nice. Seriously, like only 5 or 7, 10 max. But then, see, the whole thing is just all a consistency. Yeah. And if you're watching this, or even yourself, you're doing this podcast, we were talking off air, it's all about being consistent and believing in what you're doing, really. So I've always had a dream. I want to be on the radio, So I did the blog, Revolt. It was okay, I guess. A lot of people, independent, underground rappers in Saudi Arabia knew about it, but it wasn't really reaching anyone, man. Like, it was just me. The thing is, there was a lot of rap concerts, Arabic rap concerts happening in countries like Jordan, Lebanon, Egypt. And I used to take a flight from Jeddah to Beirut, Jeddah to Amman, Jeddah to Cairo to watch specific rappers and say, I flew from Jeddah to interview you. And the guy was like, what? You flew to see me? There were barely 50 people in the crowd. So this is back then when blogging or podcasting or whatever it is was not really something, you know? So
you were documenting your passion.
I was trying to document, but I'm one person. So yeah, I mean, but my passion was still radio. So what happened was, like, I wanted to move from blogging to radio. And this is where, subhanAllah, God made it a bit easy for me. But yeah, the journey started then, you know.
Thoughts become things, man.
Sorry?
Thoughts become things.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Manifestation is a powerful tool.
I'll be honest with you. Yeah, it is. I mean, I've always been saying that, but I think that's the first time I want to comment on that. It is. Manifestation is important, but I think passion is also important. You don't imagine what listening to these rappers did to me. It changed me in what, like my wife would tell you, Haas was like this. After that night, he was like this. Because when I found out about them at once. It was one night. I stayed up to 8 a.m. that day. It's just boom, 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 boom. I was like, okay, wow. Something changed within me, which is crazy. So again, I think that I would like to say that I think it found me for some reason. And, you know, God doesn't give you something that you can't handle. God always gives you something, like there's a path in the way. It's just a lot of things, man, you know. And for me, the main purpose of this is I wanted to make other people feel what I felt.
What you felt.
And that's why I come across as people would say, yo, you're always loud, man. I'm loud and I'll always be loud.
No. You know, I was thinking this as I say it. And obviously you have the radio voice and the radio experience. But your voice is smooth as fuck, dude. Sorry, I don't want to swear. I don't know how you are with swearing.
Okay.
But like it's like honey on my ears, man. I'm just like, it's like, because I do this a lot with people, but it's the tone of it.
God bless.
You got a nice little raspiness going on in there.
Wow,
it's that
God
radio
bless,
voice, man.
I think, you know, subhanAllah, again, if you listen to my first kind of, episodes.
You're like, hey!
Exactly, bro. You should listen. I was like very loud, very passionate again. And you can still be passionate. So, and just, I think now, because I've been doing this for quite some time, it's just, you know, kind of within
your
me.
range and stuff.
Within me, yeah.
Yeah, because even like little things that I'm noticing, that usually when people are that far away from the mic, I'm not getting their voice like I am
Okay,
now.
okay, okay.
So I'm guessing this because every day you do this and you know about,
Yeah,
speaking into
it's
a
funny.
mic and
I
stuff.
never
And it's
think
like,
I never think about it that way. But yeah,
yeah,
it comes from within. Once you love something and it comes like within you. I think
yeah,
this mic. I'm a big radio guy,
yeah,
big mic fan,
yeah.
in generally. So this is what led me to go from a blog to a radio.
Mm,
And back then in Saudi Arabia, we only had one radio station that
mm,
kind of played music.
mm.
One. And I was like, wow. And they're not going to play hip hop.
Yeah, yeah. The same 10,
Yeah,
15, 20
exactly.
songs over and over again.
Same thing. But I was lucky because three new shabab, young FM stations
Mm.
opened up. One of them was Mix FM. And this is what happened. I reached out to them. It took me 6 months to convince them
Mm.
because it's the same kind of stereotype. Hip hop, no one is.
Yeah,
I told them, I'm going to bring you a new demographics. I
Yeah.
put on the business hat that I never had on.
yeah,
I'm going to get you people that never listen to radio to
Yeah.
tune in. It's going to be a weekly show. This
Yeah.
and that. We're going to support Arabic hip hop. It's not going to be swearing. It's going to be radio friendly.
yeah, yeah.
So alhamdulillah, after 6 months of knocking on door, it kind of worked out. And I got to say that one of the things that kind of helped me sell it was, like people like Omar Effendim, Narsi, and because people were like, they had a concept of what hip hop is, and it was not what I wanted.
Yeah, yeah,
It was not what I was pushing.
yeah, yeah.
It was all the booty shaking
yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff like that, the swear
Yeah.
words and all the glam.
It's an uneducated view on
Truth, but
on
it's part of hip hop. But that's
Mm.
not the part I was bringing you.
Mm.
I'm bringing you rhythm and
Yeah,
poetry.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
bringing you culture. The thing is that I forgot
I'm
to
bringing you
mention.
Talib Kweli, I'm bringing you all of these people.
Truth.
Like, yeah.
What before these three stations opened, I tried going around Arab countries.
Mm.
And I think I don't say that a lot in many podcasts or interviews that I do.
Mm.
I went to here. I came here, UAE, Jordan, Bahrain, Egypt. I went and pitched the show
No
to
way.
radio
Yeah.
heads. I swear to God, man, I was rejected like crazy.
Really? They just
People-
didn't have the vision that you
People
had.
were telling me, you are DJ, you are play Little Wayne, Little Wayne and 50 Cent and Jay-Z. I'm like, no. I want to talk. I'm none of these. Not a
Yeah.
producer, not a DJ,
Mm.
none of the. I'm a radio guy. I want
Yeah.
to talk about hip hop
Yeah.
as a culture that started in the early 70s in the Bronx.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how it moved to Arabia. What happened? Blah blah blah.
No.
No. And to tell you even more, and again, shout out to all the radio programmers out there, whatever. But it feels to me that they didn't know each other, but they look the same. It's like a suit and tie,
yeah.
very very arrogant, very
Cookie cut.
looking
Yeah.
down at me and
Yeah.
hip hop.
Yeah.
So I took it as went back to Saudi Arabia, kind of
Okay.
brokenhearted.
Yeah.
And then this is where God presented
Yeah.
these three kind of stations that opened up. And I
Yeah.
was like, one of them has to work. I got to start from Saudi.
Mm.
Because think about it. I'm Saudi. What if I started in Egypt?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So subhanAllah, even the no's that you get
Yeah.
are all a sign of God.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I believe in.
Yeah.
Like, God would tell you, no, he will cut off this path for you.
Yeah.
Will give you a longer path
Mm.
where you would, you know what? I'm going to be right now getting all my tools ready
Yeah.
so I can fight everything.
And that when you get to that path, you're so much more prepared and you can deal with all the issues.
I know
that
it's
come.
philosophy, man,
Yeah.
but it's this is what happened to me. It's what happened to many people.
Mm.
So believe in it. It's just have a passion. Have a
Mm.
passion and be honest with yourself.
So when you got there and you opened up the first station,
Mm.
how was it? Was it kind of like was everyone going like wiling out all the kids and all that stuff?
Oh,
That finally
man.
there's something here for us to listen to.
Yeah, no.
Because essentially it was kind of like maybe I'm wrong, but it was kind of like a Saudi breakfast club ish.
I wish it was. Look, it was very difficult.
Yeah.
First message I got when I said, Salam alaikum, this is Lesh Hip Hop.
Mm.
Saudi's first and only FM hip hop radio show. First message I got on my prompter was, Inta kafir. You're an
No way.
infidel. That's the first message I got.
From the people working there, or from people sending it in?
From people listening. So
Yeah.
then, just even saying the story,
You could have been like, see, someone's listening.
yeah, I wish I took it that way, but I was like,
Mm.
I had to play 2 songs, looked at the message, and I swear to God, I found 2 roads.
Mm.
I gotta quit now.
Mm.
Or, you know what, I'm not doing anything wrong, let's
Mm.
go. And it took me kind of 10 minutes
Mm.
to kind of realize,
Yeah.
really just, okay, you know what, I have a show, let me just go with it.
Yeah.
And subhanAllah, I'm just gonna celebrate 10 years next year. So kind of going back to that and what happened, just kind of, put it all in perspective how, really,
Mm.
you just have to fight. infidel. I got called an infidel. Why? Because you're bringing an American culture. The guy was saying, أنت بتجيب حضارة أمريكية وبتحطها هنا. So you're getting an American culture and you're forcing it on us. I'm like, you know. And then, subhanallah, messages started coming in. Thank you for educating about hip hop. Thank you for supporting local and regional rappers. Thank you for changing my perception about hip hop.
What it was, exactly.
So all these messages start coming after a couple of years.
So where would people, before that, what would they do? Like Saudi, young Saudi hip hop people and stuff like that. Was there places for them to perform? Was it kind of like just amongst friends, or how did it work then?
Yeah, that's a good question. Obviously, Saudi Arabia is opening up right now and opened up big time. And back then there was nothing. There was all these underground, events and kind of, just in a place like this where, or a villa of somebody, and we get together and just jam, open mics. There's a lot of open mics in Saudi, underground, of course. And obviously now the government is changing a lot of that, and they're facilitating a lot of that, and they're helping out a lot of that. But I always say, because again, I'm put in a box when people know I'm Saudi Arabia. I'm Saudi Arabian. Really, I'll be honest. I don't talk much about that. When they, oh yeah, you oppress your women. Oh yeah, you're backwards. Oh yeah. And it's so hard to break those stereotypes one person after another. I get tired.
You're like, I just did this already.
Exactly. A lot of us did a lot of things, Yes, I know that women started driving 2 years ago, but that's not, that's my personal opinion.
It's not a reflection of me either,
Truth, but that's also not a government problem. I think that's a cultural problem. You don't live there, you don't know how it is if you're outside. So it's more like a cultural issue. Yes, the government could have fixed it before, but I just think that they took their time and very slowly kind of happened. And, am I saying that everything is perfect in Saudi Arabia? No, there's a lot of things that needs to be kind of reformed and changed. But I'm proud of where I am from. I'm proud of my, home city, Jeddah. We've done a lot of things, and we're able to reach a lot of things. So yes, there wasn't places for people to breathe, just to let go of their energy. Hence where there's a lot of things happening underground,
behind, and parties here,
always. So that's happening. But now it's on the surface. I've never imagined the day where I see a singer, male or female singer, singing in a coffee shop in Jeddah. Never really crossed my mind. But now it's there. It's there, and people are accepting it, and it's just a matter of accepting it and just kind of rolling with it.
This is like the issue that I have with people, and especially when you get that whole kind of like very straight, narrow-minded thinking Islamic view on things that a lot of Muslims don't have that. And even with Islam, and they talked a lot about adaptation and how to change with things, and even common sense will tell you that you can't stay the same way when everything around you is changing, because eventually you're going to disappear and die out, or there's going to be a civil thing going on. So you have to eventually, you don't have to decide, oh, okay, they wear bikinis in the street in America, so we're going to wear bikinis in the street in America. But you have to be able to show the people that you know what's going on, and these are the steps we're taking to do it. But we're moving.
I think, look, subhanAllah, there's a big relation between hip-hop and Islam, believe it or not. A lot of rappers, are Muslims. A lot of rappers follow the Islam faith. A lot of rappers got inspired by Islam. So again, talking about Islam, for me, there was a lot of focus on that. I did an episode, it was a Ramadan episode, where I interviewed a rapper, his name is Baraka Blue, who converted to Islam through hip-hop. And that got the station and the people very opened their mind even more. Because he was saying, I'm listening to, people like Rakim and Public Enemy and others who've used words like Allah or Bismillah or Subhanallah, and they started one thing led to another, and they're reading. And that was the catalyst for them to change their religion. Yo, how big is that? Like, just think of it, for somebody to change,
change everything about their life.
Like I'm born Muslim. Sometimes I take it for granted because I'm born Muslim. I see my dad go into the mosque every single day. But for people who revert back or go to Islam, it's just it's kind of interesting to me. That's it. At the end of the day, I think all religions are for one goal. And but Islam and hip hop. There's so much relation there.
There's a lot, and there's a lot of rappers that
a lot. And that's why it was tricky for the station. Obviously, it's a private station, but it's in Saudi Arabia. Don't forget,
Mm.
one of the most conservative countries
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
world. So how do I kind of play with that? And alhamdulillah, but you have to be loud. You
Exactly.
gotta keep,
Exactly.
you gotta. I always say, like, you just have to keep trying and
Mm.
pushing the barriers. The roof they put on you, for me, that's my
Mm.
opinion, is only as high or low as you put it.
Yeah.
So you want to push it up, you
Yeah.
gotta
Yeah.
push it. Will you get in
You want
trouble?
another floor? You need
Hell
to,
yeah.
yeah, exactly.
You'll be in trouble, but it depends how much you really
Yeah,
want
yeah.
it, and it depends how
And
smart
what the
you're
level going.
going.
Of trouble is, it's you weigh up
Yeah, no, big time.
the thingies.
100%.
What's his name? Who's living in Saudi now? Opened up a restaurant there and is living his life there. Rapper.
Oh, Mata.
Yeah.
Yeah, Napoleon. He
Napoleon.
was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
ex-outlaws, and
Yeah.
then with Tupac.
And that's to come from the Outlaws as well. That's
Mm,
like the two extremes.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
of it.
It's interesting because when he first kind of came to Saudi, I asked for an interview, and he said, "No, I don't want to do anything with
Yeah.
music." But then eventually, 4 years ago, I met him here,
Mm.
and we talked about it. So again, that's also, I think, part of education on a lot of people.
Mm.
How they see it, and
Mm.
because for a lot of people, music is still haram.
Mm.
They don't listen to music;
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
forbidden, and that's again a personal
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah.
Not getting into that in terms of like, because
Yeah, yeah.
that's a debate. And
Yeah, yeah, that's a lot of debating and who's saying who and who
yeah.
you listen to.
I just
and blah,
think,
blah,
yeah,
blah.
I personally think it's like, when the phone
Yeah.
came out
Yeah, yeah.
in Saudi Arabia, a lot of people, religious police, were saying that the camera and the phone is forbidden.
Yeah.
But then it depends. What if you can save someone's life on the phone, right? You can save someone's
That's
life.
the thing.
That's
Every
so.
observation and every different thing is the same. I mean, it's the same. Look, a lot of people would say comedy is haram too. The same people that would say
Mm,
music is haram
mm,
are the people that would say comedy is haram, and
yeah,
the people that would say photos are haram,
yeah,
and the people that would say haram is haram has haram.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like the life is not supposed to be like that, and it's not meant like that. Do you
There
know
is
what I mean?
there's a Moroccan British photographer, a legend, Hassan Hajjaj.
Okay.
He's one of the legends. Definitely look him up. So he has this installation called Halal versus Haram, and it's on a boxing gloves.
Okay.
When I asked him about that, he's like, "It's a fight.
Yeah, yeah,
What's halal? What's
yeah,
haram?"
yeah.
And it's
Exactly.
amazing. It's beautiful how it's done, and it's very simple.
Yeah, yeah,
Really, there's always a fight.
yeah.
And even within now, people who are watching, or me, or you,
Yeah.
or whoever, there's always a fight. Is this
Yeah.
halal? Is this haram? There's always a
Exactly.
fight. What's right? What's wrong? So I just think it's a fight that's consistent. And going back to what I did, I have never, felt it's haram or illegal or not. I just thought I want people to understand what I felt when I heard these four MCs,
And then they can make their own decision after
and
that.
I want them to feel the same. I want them to be like realizing, because man, it's the same. Media pushes the same, playlists to us, and they push the same narrative. I'm sick and tired of not having
Who's
our voices
benefiting from
heard,
it?
yani,
Yeah.
You go to the West, it's khalas, yeah. Let our
Yeah.
voices be heard from us, and
But
be
that's
proud
not
of who you
easy
are.
because that's
It's not
even
easy.
happening in the West.
Truth.
That's even happening in America and the UK and everything, where you got some, like I've always been into the hip hop game, and I've got some friends that by far I would put them up there with the best rappers of the last 30 years. But nobody knows about them. Nobody's heard about them.
Yeah.
They haven't marketed right, or they decided they just gave up because they didn't have that, that head, or music won't play their stuff because they're too conscious, and nobody's going to play any conscious stuff on the
Yeah,
radio.
yeah,
Nobody wants to hear about any of that stuff.
Yeah,
on the
I mean,
radio.
look, that's the fight. But now, 2020, I just think that the power is really in the hands of the
people.
artists and collective and creatives.
Yeah.
You just have to really find your niche and find your. A lot of people come to me and like, "Yo, Hus, how can I pop? Please listen to my music. Please post it." I'm like, "You think me posting your song will pop you? Then that's absolutely wrong."
Yeah.
I just think that you gotta really have so much, and it's crazy. We're not gonna finish talking about this in this podcast. It just takes so much effort and so much dedication
And passion.
and passion. And you gotta know who you want. I'm 40 years old. If you're doing music about popping champagne and partying, I'm a 40-year-old that doesn't like partying. Okay, that's me, right? We exist as well.
Yeah.
Great. So if you're thinking that you want your music to relate to me,
It's not going to relate to me.
I'm not your target audience.
I want to hear about a life and family and mortgage and kids. And do you know what I mean?
That doesn't make your
The
music
struggle.
bad.
Yeah.
It's just,
just not for
stop
me.
looking for people who are not relevant to your music.
And stop doing what you think is popping.
Big time.
Because that's got nothing to do with you. That's not your thing.
Exactly. You
Yeah.
have to kind of do what you want and do what you feel like, and then take it forward.
And you will always spot a liar. You will always know someone who's talking about something they're not doing.
But see, this is a bit controversial what I'm about to say. Some rappers, when I tell them that, they get annoyed and they unfollow me and blah blah blah. But I haven't been doing that, and I never do that because I don't want to hurt the rapper or the artist, whatever. But now I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But the result is like they're not taking it, and I don't think I'm taking Arab. I don't think Arab artists and creatives are ready to be criticized. I'm serious.
But it doesn't matter whether they're ready or not. They need to be told.
100%. But again, when I say it in a way. My opinion means tuz. It shouldn't matter to you. Yes, big house, host of a hip hop radio show. Tuz. If you're gonna depend on my opinion to move forward, then you're not passionate about what you're doing. You know? There was one rapper in Saudi. His name is Black B, spelled BLVXB. This guy put a song out. And in the song, he's saying, he's rapping, and then one bar said, your dream as a rapper is to reach Lesh Hip Hop, which is my show. My dream is bigger than that anyway. I got him after he said that line. I love that. Don't let your dream be limited to a certain human or a show, or make it out there, and it will happen, And me and him are very close friends right now. I gotta say something, man, just in the middle. Out of everything that I've done, I'm really glad. I love hip hop. It has, taught me things. It has introduced me to so many people that I now call family and friends. It's crazy how I was telling you about these rappers. Like Loki is a good friend of mine. I never imagined I'll be his friend. Never. I'm like, whoa. So hip hop changed my life, in every single way.
So where did the whole Arabic hip hop come from? Like, where did that start? Because I'm sure nobody knows where that came from, and I couldn't tell you at all where Arabic.
Look, it's a very, very interesting discussion. Obviously, hip hop started in the 70s in the Bronx, in New York, right? Like 1520 Sidwick Avenue. A guy by the name of DJ Kool Herc, was playing for his, sister's birthday party, spinning around, and then you can go and check it out, the whole story. That's where hip hop started. And then obviously it now it's worldwide. Went to Europe, obviously, like it migrated to Europe, and people started rapping in French, English, and of course in other languages and stuff like that. Now, Arabic rap started from our brothers and sisters in North Africa. Maghreb, Jazair, Tunis, Libya. It started from there. Why? Because there's a lot of people that were migrating from Maghreb, let's say, to France, and for better work, for a better, life, for
coming back for their holiday and bringing back CDs.
Truth. So they started rapping in French, but they said, hey, why are we rapping we're Arabs? So this is where the Arabic rap started. There are a lot of, French, Algerians, French, Moroccans that started this. Now they went back to North Africa, to their countries, and they started rapping in their dialect. And now when you see the rap in Morocco, Algeria, Tunis, Libya,
it's hard.
Yeah, it's amazing because it's hard, but it's like we're happy if we get 1 million. These guys get 20, 30 million, 100 million. Because the culture of hip hop and rapping is embedded with the people.
And their target audience is their target audience.
Yeah. Over here, you say, you're the hip hop, yo, what's up, up, my man? Why do you have to do, they think that we are actors and we're copying the West and America and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So this is where it kind of started. And then moved to the Levant area, Lebanon, Jordan, Iraq, Syria, Palestine, that area. And then it came to the GCC, and of course, you can't forget about Egypt and Sudan. And you can't forget about the Arab rappers in the diaspora, people who are Arabs who are living in America and in the West. And, that's why I hate the question, who's your favorite Arab rapper? Because it's so crazy. It's bigger than that. Like, it's not only one. Kendrick Lamar, when he goes on stage, he would rap in English. When he goes wherever, he raps in English. Nihna, the rapper in Morocco, if he comes here, I don't think a lot of people would understand.
Exactly.
Same thing if a rapper from here or the GCC went to Lebanon, or the Lebanese MC came here. It's a lot of dialects. It's Arabic, but it's a lot of dialects.
Different styles and different.
Different
so I just
ways
think, as well.
this is where it kind of started. And one point that I kind of loved about Arabic hip hop is that 99.99% of Arabic pop is habitik, habitini, khuntini, shiltini. I miss you, you miss me, you cheated on me, I love you. This is it. That's a fact. Is that cool? That's cool. All right. But I want to hear what the streets are saying. Social, political, community issues, all these things.
I feel like as well, I'm going to be honest. Arabic hip hop was never a thing for me growing up. it wasn't a case of I didn't want to listen to it. It just wasn't as available as living in
And
London.
maybe you don't
living in
connect with
London,
it the same as
living in London, being Lebanese, but not really being Lebanese in the sense where I'd never been to Lebanon. I wasn't really. In fact, I was raised more as an Egyptian because when my mother remarried,
Okay.
when my father passed away when I was younger, she remarried when I was about 11. And every year was in Egypt, and even now, if I speak, I can speak to you in Lebanese. I can speak to you in a full-blown فلاحي Egyptian accent.
ما شاء الله.
يعني لو كلمتك مصري دلوقتي هتقول أشخر لك يعني ومش هتعرف
Wow.
الفرق يعني.
Wow.
Yeah.
You shocked me there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you know what I mean. So I was never a part of that. I'd get a bit of Egyptian rap when I was going there at a young age. It wasn't really popping, but I feel like I was always into conscious rap. I even used to do it back in the day and take it seriously and all that, and go and battle and radio and you know, labels trying to sign me and all that. And me like, no, you have to give money to Islamic Relief or I'm not going to sign and all that stuff. I was doing what Loki and those guys were doing way before.
Wow.
And,
you used to rap?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. I'll play you some stuff. You'll be pleasantly surprised. And it got to the stage that I always felt like Arabic kids and Arabic people were really good at conscious rapping because they had a much deeper story than Londoners. Because nothing much has happened in London. Yeah, we had World War One, but no one's gonna rap about that. Do you know what I mean? But there's always a daily issue in the Arab world. There's always a yearly, this clan is beefing with this clan. There's always like this person's come over here to take our this, or this person has invaded us here, and these two cities are close but they're different, and Sunni and Shia and this and that. So I feel like when I started to get into it, there was a lot more depth to what was going on, as opposed to half of these people like, what are they going, like in the UK, a lot of people like the hood and the hood, and I was like, bro, hood, bro. Sorry to tell you, but this isn't a hood, bro. I'll take you to Brazil, bro. Come with me to Brazil. I'll take you to some favelas in here, bro, and you'll see some hood, bro.
Yeah,
this is not a hood. We're living nice, bro. Okay, we have a bit of danger, but it's not a hood, bro.
See, yeah, again, very interesting what you said. I think that the reality of people are different from a place to a place. Like, you know, I know for a fact that in the streets of Mecca, there are Tupac murals and graffitis for Tupac and Biggie. Yeah. What does that have to do with a city like Mecca, right? Because people relate to what Tupac was fighting against, right? Like, and what is there police oppression in Saudi Arabia? No, but I mean, it's just people relate. So what you're saying about, you know, Arab MCs mainly, it's about, yes, because there was no news outlets that talked like that.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's why I said it's kind of news. But again, maybe it's not, you might not be popping because that's not what people want to hear. Yeah. When I first started doing this, I was so much into the conscience things. And people would say,
and you realize nobody wants to hear that stuff.
I'm tired, man. I'm working from 9 to 5. I want to listen to somebody.
Yeah. But I've never been into that.
Yeah.
Ever. I've never been. Look, so I have a philosophy. Or I have a way of thinking. If you like Tupac, you like Nas. If you like Jay-Z, you like Biggie. It's as simple as that. There's no left or right between.
Let us know if he's right.
Yeah, there's no left or right. Yeah. People were anthem makers. Biggie was an anthem maker. Jay-Z is an anthem maker. You very rarely find someone who Nas is one of their favorite artists and Jay-Z is their other favorite artist. They usually stay on the same column. Yeah. So you get the Tupac, Nas, Big L, Immortal Technique, these kind of storytellers, and then you'll get the 50s, the Biggies, they're just here for the beat and the music and a little bit of.
That's very interesting as well. Look, if you spoke to me 10 years ago, I would have like, you know, not disagreed. I would have like had a give and go. Yeah. But now I just think it's like there's no right or wrong, man. You know, it just depends on what you feel like. And you're right. Like, for example, for me personally, I'm more like a storyteller. For me, Nas, yes, I listen to Nas. He's the guy. The storytelling is just really what relates to you more. I don't relate to 50 Cent because it's not like he's good or bad. I don't relate to him.
I get that. But it's not just about relating.
No. For me, it's about what you're living in. Like, there's this rapper, his name is Brother Ali. And he is incredibly talented and very underrated in my opinion. You know, he just raps about everything I believe in, whether it's religion, whether it's you know, community, whether it's relationships, in a way that is like just heartfelt. And this is what I say about al-musiqa adwaq. Music is subjective. It's not something you can force on people, and it's not something you say that's the best thing. Right now, hip hop is the #1 genre in the world. It took over rock about 3 years ago, and it's like there. Why? Because I feel like a lot of young people are like kind of listening to it more. A lot of the people are expressing themselves more through hip hop, and it kind of took that step. I listen to the rock all the time till now. Alternative rock, heavy metal. There's a lot of relation between rock and hip hop as well. So like heavy metal and hip hop.
Even rock and roll originally was a black woman who first started doing rock and roll. If you look at the history of it.
Yeah.
So,
rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rock and roll. It was originally from a black woman who originally started the whole rock and roll thing.
Wow.
I don't want to quote names in case I get it wrong, but you should do a research.
Yeah. See, I mean, for me, man, it's just. Look, again, I'm just kind of revisiting how I was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I would have come on a podcast like this and said, everything commercial is shit. But that's wrong. Because I was like...
It's wrong.
It's wrong because I was
for
like...
you,
yeah,
not for me.
No, I hear you. But like I was like, no. And I was against anything commercial.
Because you have to be. I don't.
Okay.
Because it's not my industry. And I'm not loyal to anyone. In a sense where...
Yeah.
Because you're a DJ, because you have to be mixed with that...
I agree with that.
Then subconsciously... You've had to tell yourself that so you don't hate your life.
صح. And because a lot of people said, yeah, it's not good for you, but it's good for so many people. Like I work in radio,
so
right?
Eventually you're like, okay, fair enough, I do. And then you start to like it because you have to play it.
Yeah.
But me, I get to choose.
Yeah, true.
And I know for a fact that I don't like commercial stuff.
Yes.
And also, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, because you have a lot of good knowledge on hip-hop, but I believe you will find more actors in this anthem maker side than you will on this conscious side. I believe that people who are conscious... It's not as easy to act the conscious role, and it's not as easy to write conscious lyrics.
You know what I'd say?
As it is to write.
You know what I would say?
Stuff.
Knowing some rappers, they even hate the word conscious.
Yeah.
Like like you're a conscious rapper. Yeah. I think a lot of rappers are starting to hate that because I think a lot of rappers are they're growing out of that bubble. And that's what I learned as well. I learned not to box people in. That's why I'm saying, like Narcy was one of my favorite rappers. His favorite genre is not even hip hop; it's R&B. He wants to do music videos for R&B artists, R&B, right? Yeah. And it's just a matter of what you feel like at the end of the day. You know?
But it's not a case of, hey, listen, we don't want to be boxed, because we as human beings like to create a new cool thing. So we're like, oh no, we don't like to be called this now. We've kind of moved on to this, or I don't want you to associate me with this because they like this guy and I don't like this guy at all, and I don't want to be put in the same box as him.
Yeah.
But if I was to say to you, do you want to listen to conscious rap, or do you want to listen to anthem or whatever, or do you want to listen to Find Me in a Club, Bottle Up My Ass, or whatever it says, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. Yeah. You're gonna know. If I say to you, do you want to listen to conscious rap, you're gonna know what you're expecting.
I hear you. Yeah.
So even though we shouldn't box people in,
truth.
Having a box is a good thing because it also lets people know ahead of time what they're getting into. Yeah,
I think it's the word box. It depends how you're saying it. Like, for example, if you're only saying, like, for example, X only does conscious music. You're boxing him or her in that box or whatever it is. And maybe they want to do filming or photography or whatever, or they want to do something, another genre. Yeah. A lot of rappers right now, especially Arab rappers, they're changing from rapping to melodic rap, singing, using autotune, which is something they notice that gets them a lot of views, and people are relating to that. They're getting to the masses. This is the tricky part, like you mentioned Immortal Technique, one of my favorite rappers. He's very underrated. Not a lot of people know Immortal Technique like as a name as well. MF Doom is another name as well. But these guys are like a niche. When you find somebody who listens to MF Doom, not everybody listens to MF Doom.
But I would rather be a warrior that 4 people know about, true to my cause and my craft, than be somebody that everybody knows. Yeah, that I wasn't true to myself.
This is where it's up to the rapper to decide. Like I said, there's many examples of rappers trying to.
Don't get me wrong. Everyone has to do their way, and and
you have to make a living. You got to make a living as well.
Drake, and they'll be like, "Oh, Drake has started singing, and that works." And then I'm gonna start doing a bit of that. That's fine.
But you can't be like Drake.
Yeah, exactly.
Be you.
Exactly.
So this is the tricky part. This is why I face a lot of issues here, especially from Arab young guys. They want to be like Kendrick. They want to be like J. Cole. They want to be like, but bro, be you.
Even the way they like. I've been to. So I go to Soul DXB or whatever. And then I'll look at someone and I'll be saying, dude, you're trying too hard.
Okay.
You're dressed more American than an American. Do you know what I mean?
I hear you.
Like, surely you're over pushing a cultural image that culture doesn't push.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. You're right now, you're 10 years behind.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Look, shout out to Soul DXB. One time, I think I flew from Jeddah to attend one of the Soul. I think it was the third Soul. And I went inside and I saw somebody that was just purely happy for some reason. And you know, in Soul, you can talk about with anyone. So I just spoke to him and I told him, hey, man, what's up? He's like, yo, I just feel myself here. Just outside those gates, I'm not me. So again, to comment on what you said, I just think really some people love to express themselves. And you're right. You're absolutely right. There is this whole thing about, you know, just, and this is a problem about copying Western culture without you. And believe me, a lot of people have a problem with it. And this is where, like, for example, I wear the bandana, right? Oh, yeah, a lot of people say, oh, this is like, I just, look.
يا أخي ما خطرة was that? Let me wear the bandana.
Yeah, true. إنما الأعمال بالنيات. Everything is about intentions. And I really feel, I respect what you said, but I also feel that there's a place for us to have people reflect who they are and express themselves in a way. I think this is where it's coming from. And, you know, and still to that day, like Soul DXB, for example, you mentioned it, they worked so hard in order to reach where they are right now. I remember people telling me about the first Soul that happened here, happened in like a small store in El Cercal. I don't know, they were expecting 100 people, 500 people showed up or whatever. I'm like, whoa. So yeah, man, it took a lot of, you know, guts and passion. And nothing works like that, man. Like nothing goes...
It doesn't. And I agree with you totally. And I'm a very spiritual... I don't judge people, but I will have an opinion. And even if I say something, I'm not judging you as a person, but what I'm saying is there's a line. Now, how far are we going here? Simple of what you said. Man, I feel like I'm me here. Well, you're not you, because the you that you're being right now is not who you are. Okay? Let me say it. Basically, we're going through that whole transgender thing where I associate as an American, as a young American rude boy. Yani, no. What you've done is you've seen how it is there. You like what you see. You relate to it. You relate to it in a sense because you see that that's the cool thing around now. And you think by being like that is going to make you cool. But unfortunately, my friend, that's only cool there. When you take it out of there and bring it here, it's no longer the same coolness. And I'm not judging you as a person. Wallah, everyone on their own journey and be who you are. But what I'm saying is, I feel like people try so hard to act something that they're not.
That's true.
That they miss out on all the beautiful things they could be of who they actually are.
That we have. Yeah, that I totally agree with. I think a lot of people, but yeah, you know, just think about it that way. There's a lot of people that look up to the West, and that's what I said earlier. I am sick and tired of having our voices being told for us. Have your own voice. You know, like there's a lot of creatives over here. Like I remember talking to Shab Moha, who's a photographer, you know, creative here. He's incredible. He was just, I want to relate to my childhood. I want like, you know, he shoots for all these big fashion brands and stuff like that. I just think that it's nice for somebody to reflect where they come from and stop getting voices from outside. Get inspired by that. Don't get me wrong.
That I'm making. Like, look at this. My friend has a recording studio here. He gets a lot of artists in there. And then you get these Arab kids going in there. Now, Ana khalas, I'm mature, I'm old, bro. I'm not entertaining you and I can't be dealing with your stuff, bro. You're sitting there telling me, and I'm listening to your song, and it's about Porsches, Bentleys, just smoked a blunt. Yahi, we live in Dubai and it's illegal and there's no weed here, bro. Come on, please. You haven't. There's nothing real about what you're saying, bro.
You're preaching to the choir. 100%. I keep saying, inside Arabia,
that makes me sick. Because you're pretending, but not even in a place where you can get away with it.
Truth.
If you lived in America and not a lot of people knew you, they might think, oh, maybe he does do this. But I know you, bro. I saw the Uber you came in.
So see, this is the problem. Inside Arabia, there's a lot of people that says West Coast, West Side, East Side. I'm like, where?
You mean Medina and
There's no West Side and East Side in Saudi. It's like, you know? Yo. So yeah. But this is where it's a little bit education needed from, you know, people such as yourself, people like me, and many others who have a platform to actually say that it's not that. And believe me when I tell you, you're absolutely right about what you just said right now. A lot of Arab rappers use that. And it's like this badass vibe. Great. Okay, you want to be badass. You can be badass Arabic vibe. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
Just have an Arabic
but
vibe.
we as a culture are beautiful, dude.
Yeah.
You want to talk stuff? Talk about astronomy, astrology, and sugar and rice and soap and coffee and guitars and the desert and the moonlight and the stars and the camels and talk about the stuff that we have that they could never rap about.
Yeah.
That you would have no competition from them.
To comment on that, I just want to say that you can rap about whatever you want to rap about or whatever you want to, because at the end of the day, storytelling, right? Like if you go and I don't know, milk a camel in the middle of the desert.
I could give you a 16 about milking a camel that
Great.
would make you
then
sweat.
Rap about that.
That's
perfect.
what I mean.
So it doesn't matter. For me, it's not that. For me, it's not only just it's the subjects that you talked about. If you're just only rapping about, you know, just the party life and whatever that you gets you high or whatever it is, more power to you. Great. But, and this is, I was inspired by DMC from Run DMC when I met him. He said that to me about 7 years ago and I was inspired. It's like, if you're rapping about that, great. But make sure in your album or in your releases, you rap about a song that is uplifting and moving.
Exactly.
This is what he said. And I think it was really inspiring. He said about, okay, if you're rapping about a song about using a gun, rap about a song about not using a gun. You know, and for me, when he said that, coming from one of the legends, kind of put in perspective, you rap about anything. Just make sure that you have a platform and people are listening to you, and you actually might change somebody's opinion.
Exactly, but this is what they don't
make
realize.
an impact.
This is what they don't realize. Now, okay, you're one of these rappers who's an Arab rapper. Now, you're big in the Arab world because there aren't many on your level. So you have the eyes and then the ears of the young Arabs. And you finally captured all these young brothers, and this is what you want to tell them?
Yeah, look, this is a very interesting topic that I don't talk much about. It's the media would push rappers or put them in a box based on the popularity of that rapper. And then you'll see that the rapper would change. Now, when I'm like Muhammad Ramadan right now, who's an Egyptian actor, he's rapping. Now, I don't know if he's a rapper, you know, but he's collaborating with big time artists, right? This is the business side, commercial side of things. Is it fun? It's so much fun. Shout out to the brother. He's hustling. Great. But there's so many, talking about Egypt, there's so many rappers that are pioneering, you know, whether it's Abi Yusuf, whether it's Shaheen, there's so many rappers, Wiggs, Pablo, who's retired right now, Afroto, Marwan Musa, see the list goes on. It's just, and producers, el-sawt, el-Masri, the samples. And by the way, just you know, FYI to you and to everybody listening, I've had the pleasure to speak to Spotify Middle East, and they told me some incredible data about Egypt. Spotify top 10 right now streaming, and I'm talking Spotify as a whole, not global, not Spotify Egypt. Like they would say, the top 10 listened to on Spotify in Egypt. Not Shireen, not I don't know, like all these big names in the Egyptian name. 8 out of the 10 are rappers, independent rappers. The names I told you. What does that tell you? They tell you that the people are rising up and they're listening. This is from Spotify as a company, like, you know. So they realize as well. Oh, there's business there. People are streaming. Rappers, artists make money from streaming. So that makes total sense to me. The power is shifting towards the artist in a crazy way, and it's streaming and it's YouTube.
And this is the time where they have to put their foot down and stick to being
real.
Stick to being real, because I feel like, look, and I'm sorry to be confrontational.
No, let's do it. I like it.
But I feel like if my passion is painting, and we both are painting at the same time, I'm painting in this room, you're painting in that room. We both start painting at 5 o'clock. I don't touch my paintbrush. We're both just as talented as each other. 5:30, I walk into your room and have a look at your canvas. And then I come back to my canvas and start using the same colors. I'll change a couple of things, but I'll use the same colors, same shapes and that. Then my passion is an art.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, so lots of stuff to talk about there. There's a big difference between, like, in my opinion, copying or and getting inspiration from and stuff like that. So I just think when it comes to Arab rappers, the problem that we had in the beginning, where there was a lot of copy paste.
In the beginning, that's fine.
Early on, there was a lot of copy paste, a lot of copy paste. They would use the N word, and like they don't know what they. I've been called the N word. You know, like walking. You're the hip hop guy. Yeah, what's up, N word? Like, bro, you cannot. First of all, that word should be out. Second of all, you can't use it. Don't use it like that. So it's a problem. And I'm like, okay. So there's a lot of copy pasting based on ignorance, based not on bad intentions, based on ignorance. A lot of Arab rappers, because Arabia, like I told you, it's a little bit like we have North Africa. We got, you know, the Levant. There's also no unity in it. A lot of unity in it. There isn't a lot of that. I'm trying right now to do a couple of projects with rappers from Saudi Arabia and North Africa, for example, where we can bridge that cultures in a little bit, you know, and make it happen. We all get inspired from each other, man. Like we all get inspired from each other.
Inspiration, of course.
It's a
the
really
beginning of time. We've seen.
I got inspired from you right now. I get inspired by X, Y, Z. Life hits you, but rap, man, rhythm and poetry and Arabic rap is something to be reckoned with. It's a force right now, and people, they're getting numbers, man. I'm talking about numbers, right? There's this kid out of Palestine. His name is Big Sam. This guy just crossed 10 million views on a song done lyrically in 2 months. 10 million, independent, man. Signed artists don't get this number. And people are loving it. Why? It's melodic kind of. He's going into that. He's shifting from rap
Flows.
to a little. When you listen to it, you connect with it. It's Arabic from Palestine. You know, like. On the other hand, when I talked to rappers back in the day in Palestine, and I asked them why you do rap, and they were like, "Bro, got a tank outside my house. What do you want me to rap about? What do you want me to rap about? Love? There's a tank outside my house now." So that narrative shift now. There's a kid in Palestine called Jibber, and they have a record label called Platinum, not Platinum, Platinum with a B, and they want to showcase that Palestine can rock with it. They vibe with it. They go high with it. They go crazy with it. A lot of politics inside the song, but in a very vibey way, very trappy way, Arabic trap. So that's his idea. He wants to change that. And he wants to showcase that Palestine is not war. It's not oppression. It's not, no, we're having fun. We're having, you know.
It's like Lebanon when people are like, "Oh, the bombs are going off." I'm like, "These guys are partying more than you know."
So it's a perspective kind of thing, man, you know? So
I guess it depends on what kind of person you are, why you're doing it and everything. But I just feel like, and I might not be in any position to say this about anyone, but I just feel like I'm of old school warrior spirit.
Which is respected. I'm the same.
And I'm like, if I'm going to have, okay, so people, I don't think they understand the power of the tongue. Okay? So we'll not get into it too much, but words are literally black magic. Literally, I can now, if I came in, when you came in today, I could have been like, "Dope, that's the dope t-shirt. Those trainers are amazing, bro. I love what's written on your hat." Within 10 seconds, you're ready to do the podcast. You're like, "Shit." If I went in there, first saw you, you wore glasses. Your hair's a bit grey, bro. I thought you were younger than this. So I'm using my words to negatively cast a spell on you. Which is why
totally agree.
You know what I mean?
It's a vibe thing as well.
It's a vibe thing as well. You literally control. You see your wife, she's going out. She's taken 3 hours to get ready. And then you go, "You're not going to go out like that, babe, are you?" Or, "I thought you were going to get ready." And she's ready to go out. And you're not going to put any makeup on. Automatically, you have crushed her.
Crushed the
with
soul.
Four words.
So
words are some of the most powerful weapons we have.
Well, look, man.
Choose your weapons wisely. If you're going to sit there and reach people...
I believe in that. Not a lot of people do it. If you have a platform, it's a duty. It's even stronger.
It's your duty. That's what I'm saying. It's your duty as a human being.
Let's do it. So yeah, man, there's an old Bedouin saying, in Arabic it says, and I'll translate it, a human being with no impact has no life. So I love that because it's like, it's not up to me or you to decide how big the impact is. It's up to God. And I just think it's your job to do it. Now, if you live like that, if a lot of people live like that, believe me, we'll have a better world that we live in. Because, man, even take it politically, right? Like, and take what's going on in the world. What's a leader? What's a president? What's a king? All these are very important to realize that, you know what are we doing to help one another as well? So I just think it's incredible. And what does all that have to do with hip hop? Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, it has a lot to do with hip hop
Everything, dude,
and
yeah.
music, because these guys are saying something that the mass media are not saying. But now the eyes are open, and now people are like, you know what? When I say eyes are open, man, 10 million views in 2 months from an independent artist. They're rapping and talking about something that exists. There is this rapper in Palestine. His name is Tanim. He raps about his whole thing. Raps about all the murders that happen. You hear about something that happened in a country, in an Arab country. A father killed his daughter for whatever. He raps about that, and he called the name of the person, and these go viral so that we never forget. You know, these honor crimes or whatever.
Honor killings,
That's his niche. He got famous because of that. You know what I mean? So when I spoke to him and I interviewed him, it was interesting. He's like, I live it, man. I read the story. I cry when I'm writing. I'm read. I go inside as if I'm once there. Yo, that's very heavy, man. And Arab media don't talk about it. They don't talk about these things because they want to portray everything is cool. Everything is not cool. Exactly. And everything is not right. You got to fix it. And this is how you fix it, by talking about it.
That's it. That's what I'm saying.
Have a convo.
Now it brings me back to my point. Don't get me wrong. I see my friends who do like that music, who do like that just to go to the club. Say, look, I don't drink. I don't go out. I love my family. My wife and my kids are my best friends. I couldn't think of any cooler people to hang around with. So when I leave you here, I'm going back to play with my kids. And I don't need friends. I have 3 friends in my life. All the rest are acquaintances. And people are like, why don't you come out and do this? And I'm like, because I'd rather play Lego with my kids. Sorry, bro, but that's what my life is about. That's what I enjoy doing.
But that's you. I'm like you, by the way.
I get it. What I'm saying is, I get it when I see my friends in clubs and they love it and they want to forget and But I'm not going to shy away from my responsibility. And my responsibility as a human being is to provide knowledge and teach and love and spread love. And if the things that aren't coming out of my mouth aren't teaching you or helping ease something for you, there's no point in me saying it.
I think, look, you know, like it's, again, and thank you so much for giving me the platform to do this and talk about it. I just think it's interesting. And I was like this 10 years ago, but then I realized that I am coming off as forcing and yo, you're coming, you know, and now I realize that, you know, I just turned 40 and I'm just realizing, you know what, you know, it's just, my job is to say it. You want to understand it. You want to believe it. You want to work it out. Great. You don't. It's cool. I did my job. So this is where I'm kind of I'm calmer right now. Before I was really like heavy with the
dude, I was the same when I was rapping and stuff. When I was younger, I was calling out everyone and
again
doing this and that.
You realize once you grow older, once you have once you have family, like you know, I have a son, and by the way, this has a lot to do with him. So he's autistic. He's turning 10 end of the month, end of November now, and with autism is a spectrum. It's not I believe it's not a disease. I'm not a doctor, but it's not a disease. It's a way of life. It could be different than me and Jew. But he told me patience. And subhanAllah, God gave us Ahmed for maybe that reason, because I'm not patient, man. And with him, he taught me how to be patient, because you know, with autism, they take time to process, and you have to.
I worked a lot with autistic children.
And it's interesting. So again, and subhanAllah, there's no 2 people that are autistic that are the same. It's a huge spectrum. And I want to shout out all the you know, autism parents, all the people that deal with it. It's hard, man, from the looks that we get when he has a tantrum, when we get looks like into meta and you get pushed. So please, you never know what other people, and I'm not only talking about autism, you never know what people are going through. You know, like just think about it. You know, you don't know if they're battling a lifetime disease. You don't know if they're like, you know, going through some. So just be easy, especially at this point in time right now.
And be empathetic as well.
Yeah, man. Especially now, it's crazy, man. Especially people who live alone. I have a lot of friends of mine who live alone in the UK and the US, and man, we talk every single week. I just want to make sure they're okay. Mental health is important, man.
The groups, the WhatsApp groups, that we all
just say hello if you can, and be blessed that you have a family. So going back, Ahmed, I think, helped me a lot with that. My son, subhanAllah, God put him in our life for maybe that
You
reason.
get something for everything, bro.
You know, so subhanAllah, for me, I'm calmer, I'm less angrier. I'm still angry, but I'm less angrier, loud, you know, less, كل شيء less, and كل شيء in moderation in a way. You know, so it's interesting. I was watching your podcast with the brother Ali Said, who I'm a big fan of, and he said something very important that my dad used to say that I never really kind of resonated with. He said that the person who listens the most in the room, that's the guy. And that's something I need to kind of also practice on in terms of listening. Because when you're listening, you're absorbing, and you're like, you know, taking in things live. And as a stand-up comedian, I see what he's saying, because you really need to. So yeah, for me, and also when I do interviews with rappers and artists, I need to listen to them. And in the beginning,
not just that, so you can really kind of re-portray what they're saying to other people.
100%.
As well,
In the beginning, early on, I never listened. I did
you
all these interviews. Yeah.
To go.
You know, yo, you gotta listen. So
I'm the same, dude. Even in my first, if you watch episode 1 and 2, I'm like so excited to be doing the podcast, and then I realized that haram, I didn't even let the guests say anything. They'd say one thing, I'd stop them, cut them off straight away, and start talking, and then suddenly I started seeing on the like you see those sound waves. So in the beginning, my one would just be like that all the time. But now their ones are going, and mine there's a lot of breaks in mine or whatever. So you learn to adapt these things.
I think it's truly important, man. You know, so subhanAllah, I'm a big believer that God doesn't give you something you can't handle. Like really, truly, I believe in that. No matter how tough it is out there for people who are listening and watching this right now, it really depends on what you believe in, and you have to have faith in that. I think it's truly important. I've been through so much, whether it's from blogging to hip hop to, you know, raising a son with autism, to being in a place. That's the reason why I moved from Jeddah to Dubai, because I moved 4.5 years ago, and I found out that in Dubai and the UAE there's a lot of awareness when it comes to autism, and there's a lot of facilities. It's the place, the vibe is better, and one of the reasons why is because we were in, I believe we were in Kidzania, Saudi, and then, you know. When you're signing in, I said my son is autistic, so they gave him a kind of special needs, you know, bracelet. And I was walking there, and we went there, and there was a lineup, and we crossed that lineup, and there was a boy who told the supervisor there, why did this kid go before me? Her reply is what pissed me off. Her reply was like, because he's the R word in Arabic. Wow. Yeah, I lost it a little bit, and I think a week after I left. So it was very like, you know, I was like, he's not ours, he's not the way, he's autistic, you know.
Regardless,
you don't even say that word, right?
Yeah.
And I felt like it's the wrong environment for that. You know, sadly, you know, to be in, and alhamdulillah, we've been here 4.5 years now, and I think it's been a blessing. He's been progressing in a crazy way. He's talking a little bit right now, and alhamdulillah, you know. So blessings to God, and you know, you just have to say alhamdulillah always, because you never know what other people are going through.
You never know. I mean, I just had, like I told you, I had Nick on before in a previous episode, and he's you know, he's doing triathlons with his son, he has an issue with his first chromosome. So just the strength. You know, that people have to go through, and for other on top of that, he went through like his own self with cancer as well himself.
Man, it's crazy. I'm telling you,
you never know what other people are going through at all.
Just listening to these kind of stories, man, it's definitely inspiring, but also you gotta say alhamdulillah always, man, always alhamdulillah. Like, you know, like I don't know what to say anymore.
He was saying the same as you. He was saying that I wouldn't be this happy without him. Like if these things didn't happen, they showed me a side of me I never knew I had.
It's interesting what you just said. It's also, this is why the life is like in chapters, you know, like 10 years, you know, 20 years ago, I was different than now. I have a son who's 10. My vibe is different towards life. Even as a rapper, when you marry and you have kids, your rap would change. You know what I mean? Because you realize, you know, and you grow with it. And subhanAllah, this is the beautiful thing about art generally and creative. And I just want to say to people out there who are creatives, never give up in terms of, you know, when people see your passion, they will believe in what you're saying. Just, you know, let it be kind of shown. And just to be clear, I'm not saying be loud about your passion. Some people decide to be, you know,
be quiet and just show people. You know,
there's no right way.
But
There's
if
no
you
book.
don't believe in it in yourself,
100%.
then who else is going to believe in you?
But
And
see,
it will show that you don't believe, that you don't trust your own
yeah, there's no
strength.
right way, man. That's look. I'm not like a doctor or philosopher, but there's no right way to do it, man. A lot of people have done it in a crazy way. There's no right way. And
if you want to get there,
can I
in
say
the
a
end,
quick
you'll get
story?
there. Yeah, of course.
There's this about 15 years ago in Saudi Arabia. I was contacted by one of the universities there. A lot of Saudis go on a government scholarships from Saudi to the U.S. And when they go there, they make fools of themselves and the country because there's a lot of things that they do wrong, culture shock and stuff like that. So they called me one time and they said, "Yo, big ass." Oh yeah, hello, yeah, okay. Can you come and teach our kids? We have like around 15 kids who are going to America, blah blah, in a couple of months. Teach them how to be cool. I'm like, teach them how to what? Seriously, they got the book, man. Dummies for Cool. How to be cool for dummies. You know that yellow book? I'm like, that existed? Bro, I was there. It's that thick. I threw it. I started talking to people. I'm not a professor. I started talking to each one of them. Just talk, right? Talking. There was one kid who wanted to go to America, you know, to enjoy life and to have intercourse with and to have, you know, blah blah blah. Great. You want to do that? How you going to do that? I'm going to go to a bar and you do it. You're going to do it there. No, you got to talk to the lady, you go out, dating. So I'm just saying, there was another man who had a, you know, he had a long beard. He was very religious. And I'm not saying that all long beard have religion, but this man was very religious. I asked him, why are you going? He's like, I want to get you. Okay, great. But that's their culture. You're going there. You got to respect them. You can't go there and force what you believe. And you can't do that.
Can't be Wahhabi.
So it's the talking thing. And man, I'm still in touch with some of these guys. It's crazy how just talking, just normal talking affected and impacted, you know.
Man, imagine you used the book, bro.
I didn't know what the book is. I don't know. I don't know if it existed. I'm going to try to Google that book to see if it's there.
These books are hilarious.
Khalas,
the books are jokes themselves.
I know, exactly.
You know what I mean?
I'm like,
so you would have ended up making it even worse for them. If they
open page 2. To be cool, you need to wear black jeans. I'm like, what? You know, so there's no right or way, man. Right or wrong way to do things generally. We're doing this beautiful podcast right here. You decided that you want your voice to be heard. I want voices for people that are making it in Dubai to be heard. And believe it or not, I got to know a few people that I wasn't aware of before through your podcast. That makes sense. So khalas, man, just do you. Stop it with this thing about be yourself. And I'm saying it in a very not cheesy way. Be yourself. Khalas, who are you gonna be? Why you want to be someone else? Be yourself. If people don't like you for you, pulls.
Yeah, exactly.
Khalas. Okay. You gotta force everyone to like you. Exactly. You think I don't have haters? I have a lot of haters actually, and people who don't appreciate what I do, and that's cool because a lot of them appreciate it later. I had a rapper in Saudi Arabia that had a lot of differences with me, and he used to be always attacking me on social media and stuff like that. And now he's like one of my close buddies. I just think he saw what I'm after. So sometimes, things happen and you just have to, kind of maneuver with it. And it's very, very interesting, man.
Okay, I'm going to cause some trouble now.
Yellow.
Top 3
Allah.
rappers of all time. American. Top 3 rappers of all time. Arab.
Yes, look, it's very tough, man. I'll look.
Your top 3.
Which
not necessarily is the top 3, but your top 3.
Look, mine without the top, like just 3. I can't. Like it's very hard. I have struggle with it. Like I'll give you names.
First 3 that come to your mind now. You have 3 seconds. Go.
Rakim. 2. Rakim, Nas, Black Thought. Nice. These are like the rappers I listen to. In terms of even if I would wanna kind of put them together right now. These are rappers I really love, really. Black Thought, from the roots, he's one of the most underrated rappers of all time. This guy can, so he's definitely they're But again, that might change. But
Arab,
huh?
Arab.
Rap and Arabic. Look, this is very difficult. I'll tell you why.
Because of the whole dialect thing.
Exactly, it's very difficult. Like if you tell me, like for example, Saudi, I'll tell you.
If now I'm going to say to you, look. I'm going onto a desert island. I need 3 CDs. You can only give me 3 albums, dude.
Yeah.
Which 3 Arab albums are you going to give me?
Look, I'll give you three names to start getting into it, right? Bu Kulthum, he's a rapper from Syria.
I like that name.
Yeah. Bu Kulthum.
Yeah.
Second name, I would say, I'm just trying to be diverse. See, this is why it gets crazy because Bu
Dude, I
Kulthum.
don't have time. The boat's leaving, bro. I need to go. You got the CDs.
I know. Yeah, but this is the thing.
1 second, mate. He's just gonna give me some CDs. He'll be there in a second.
Okay,
Quick.
give me 5
Bro.
seconds. Bu Kulthum, I will go with Narsi from Iraq. He spits English in Arabic. And then I would go with three only.
Yeah.
I would go with a rapper from Morocco. His name is Muslim.
Nice.
So, again, see, but that's totally unfair. I'll tell you why. Because you missed out on
this boat has left the dock.
I know. You missed out on Egypt, Sudan, right? Like there's so many things.
Yeah.
And that's why you can't put it. Like, Sudan, man. I gotta talk about Sudan. The amount of art that's coming out of Sudan, forget hip hop. It's mental. Egypt, Saudi Arabia right now, it's just crazy. Arabic rap in the UAE though. Crazy kind of point. UAE is an Arabic country, right? Not a lot of it is out there, and you have to understand that when Arabic rap started, it started as a dissing culture. It started on something called al-mudawwinat, with tadwinat, wal-muntadayat, blogs. People start dissing each other. People from Saudi dissing UAE dissing Bahrain. So there is, especially in the GCC, so there's a lot of negative connotation when it comes to rap in the media over here. And it's interesting in a city like Dubai because the city of Dubai has no sound yet. It's diversity. That's the sound of it. Yeah. It's diversity. Still, everything is...
Dubai's like London. It's like so many mixed...
Yeah, but London has a
cultures.
Sound, right? Like there's a sound of London.
Yeah, but because it's been there for a billion years.
Yeah, true.
It's like a young London.
True.
Like, when everyone started mixing together and stuff.
See, I hope so. This is where it's very important to mention like rappers like Freak, for example, who I'm a big fan of because he's Somali based here. And he's somebody who's rapping, doing Arabic trap or Arabic drill. Yo, that's exciting. And to hear somebody rapping like that is really remarkable. Now, if this kid was in a country like Egypt or Saudi Arabia, you'd see him blown up right now. It's the people in Dubai, this is not their vibe. When will it become their vibe? This is the big question. Why do you think 8 out of 10 artists in Egypt are popping on Spotify? Like, why? Because the people are listening.
People are ready for that stuff,
Yeah, the Egyptian people are listening. The population of Egypt, mashallah.
That's the problem because here, where is the population from?
Yeah, diverse. That's what I'm saying. The whole sound of Dubai is diversity. It's this tolerance thing.
The thing is, it's more diverse than local. That's the issue.
Oh, yeah.
So in Egypt, there's just as much diversity.
Yeah.
But the population of the locals are bigger, are still bigger.
And this is why the rap, they're popping, But that's why for an artist like Freak, what does he do? It's also confusing. Would he continue? Yes, you got to continue. I'm not a big fan of rappers or artists going outside, making it out, and then coming back because that's how we tend to do it. I'm talking about Arab media. They would go, they pop it in England or the US, and they're like, yeah, هذا عربي حقنا تعال.
And once he's done,
we have
we always liked you. Where have you been? Why did you go, Habibi?
And they never really give the opportunity here. So,
So what kind of events are you doing now that's kind of that's going to help this stuff?
Look, man, with the COVID-19, I've taken kind of step back, but in April...
We are in my car, and you open, both doors are open, you come, sit, rap, and leave.
100%. So basically, I've done something with the Beat DXP, which is something I've launched in Saudi Arabia, and we created this online thing where the 49 artists performed the whole day. It was one big kind of online thing. So obviously, a lot of people are using online right now to perform. I am kind of just waiting it out, to be honest.
See what happens.
I'm still a big fan of high-fiving each other and, the social distancing events and more power for a country like the UAE. I've been to a couple of events. Breakout DXP happened last week. Everything was social distancing. It was done for homegrown artists. Really nice. So, but I personally...
It's not the same vibe, though.
It's not the same vibe. But it's amazing that they're taking that step and doing it. It's really remarkable. So for me, I'm taking a step back, focusing a lot on online things, focusing a lot on making music. DJ Khaled, for example, he's not like a producer or a rapper or whatever, but he would put rappers together. So I'm starting to get rappers together, get rapper A, rapper B, get a producer, put it together, put the artwork, release it under my name on streaming, as an artist.
Mm.
So that's very exciting to me because I'm not an artist. I'm not a DJ, a rapper, or a producer.
Yeah.
I'm just a human being that likes to put things together.
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of my next thing, and I'm dropping I dropped 2 singles already, and I am dropping kind of 4 more before the end of the year.
Nice.
Which is exciting.
Inshallah.
Yeah.
So, tell me about death, bro.
Wow.
What happens when you die?
Oh. See, I like this podcast. Well, man, I don't know. I have no idea. What I know for sure is that I want to live a life where people remember me well.
Mm.
Like, you know, I don't...
Yeah, that's cute, and it's a nice way to get
I
out of
it.
the answer.
But like, you know, does death scare me? Yeah, man, you think about it. But I'm a man of faith, and I believe it's sunnat al-hayah. This is part of it. Once you think like that. A friend of mine just went on social media today, and he said that he has lost 4 people last week because of suicide, because of what they're going through right now. Mm-hmm. So I just think that it's a very, very big topic to talk about, and talk about, like, mental health and death generally. And it's, you never know. وقتك مكتوب. What's written will happen. No matter what. SubhanAllah, you've all seen these videos about somebody who flipped in the car 70 million times, nothing happened to her. And you know,
and then someone farted and died.
Fact.
To be honest, I feel like that's a stupid way that I'm going to go. So I'm going to sneeze too much or something stupid.
It's all written.
Calm, man.
It's all written, SubhanAllah. And so going back to your question, yes, I'm not addressing it as death. I'm addressing it as celebrating life. I think it's very important for us to realize that. I think, you know, and sometimes I messed up my priorities. You'd start thinking, hey, why is this not song popping? Why are not people listening to me? Why are people not focusing on me? But then you realize, okay, you have your son, daughter healthy. Your wife is healthy. Your partner is healthy. You're healthy. You started focusing on that, and man, wallahi, there is no difference. Man, screw the numbers, man, screw everything. Focus about the priorities in your life and realize that if that's okay, then it's okay. Then khalas, it's going to come. So I think that's something I started realizing a couple of years ago when God knocked on my door big time and I was in a big health scare. Everything in my blood tests were borderline. Kind of changed my way of eating. The doctor told me, and quote, someone up there loves you. And I just had to think about my dad, you know, and, you know, I don't know if it was him or, you know, it's just God. It was exactly when I turned 39. Yeah. It was like, you know, it was just something. It was feeling heavy, feeling bad. Health-wise was bad. But when I went to the doctor, doctor said, not a lot of people have that second chance, you know? So again, you gotta see that in my talk. I always say, Alhamdulillah, man. I gotta say it because it's really, you know. And you don't want to wait, and you don't want to practice or try things the wrong way and see how it works or not. That's what I'm saying. So don't take a risk in that. You know, just do you. Focus about your priorities. And I sometimes fall into that. Believe me, I just fall into that last week. I was angry about something that I shouldn't be angry about, and I don't know why. And it started affecting my system. I'm growing older, man. You're not younger anymore. You can't get angry easily, right?
You look beautiful though, man.
Bless, but I'm just saying it's hard, right? Like it's just hard. So stop getting angry at things that are... Stop giving people like the attention anyway. Focus about the people that actually give you the good energy. Focus about that, you know?
Do you know the funniest thing? I have a picture with me. And I think about death a lot. Always positive. In more of an awareness. So I have this picture of me of a grave in my phone.
Wow.
Whenever anything is irritating me, or whenever I'm pissed at anything, or whenever something doesn't go right, I just look at the picture. I'm good in 2 seconds. 2 seconds and I'm good.
It's your reminder.
Yeah, because it's like that, bro.
Yeah. No, that's
like
deep,
nothing
man.
can be worse than that. Like I'm telling you, no matter what happens, no matter how stressed or how much, oh, why didn't I make money, or why didn't I do this, or who's there, or this one's angry at me, or this, or I didn't do this one, I didn't get none of that matters to me in life, bro.
True.
None of it.
I
just look at that picture
you go with your good deeds, right? That's what I'm saying. You go with how people also remember you. That's why I'm saying when you ask me about that, I really just hope people remember me as that guy who's always kind of trying to be positive, trying to support the artist. Every time I met him, he was like, you know, I try to really to understand how people think as well. I don't
Mm.
want to be rude to anyone. I don't want to offend anyone. You want to live that life, right? And I think it's important. But most importantly, it's the people around me, my family and my close friends and myself. I don't want to let myself down. And I think I do that a lot sometimes. But that's another podcast. I just think that I don't give myself credit, to be honest with you. I don't give myself a tap on the back. I expect people to give me that. And for the past year, I'm trying to change that. I was like, I did well here.
Yeah, of course.
Good job, Haas.
Yeah.
Move forward. And also, one more thing. We tend, for the people who always give us good feedback, we tend to disregard their opinion and focus on the people that don't fuck with us at all.
And that mean nothing.
No.
Yeah.
So, khalas, they're telling you that you rock.
Yeah.
You rock.
That's
Why
it.
are you focused? So the concept of validation, which brings me to this artist thing when they come hit me up. Don't worry about my opinion.
Yeah.
Or anyone's opinion for that matter. Just worry about the opinion that matter to you.
If anything from this opinion sticks out to you and hits you like deep, that means it's true. And you should work on it.
Yeah.
If not, and nothing means nothing, then I'm wrong. And that's it, it's done.
Yeah,
But it's the same thing. It's just like, it's quite funny because I have a friend of mine and every day they post on their Instagram about horoscopes.
Wow.
And star signs.
Okay.
And they're going to laugh when they listen to this. And Pisces this, and did you know that Pisces that, and and I'm just like, who is your target audience here? Who are you messaging? Like, who are these stories for? Like, I don't understand. And then we were getting into it and having a laugh, and I was like, you realize how much self-validation this is? All these horoscopes, because you never see a horoscope that says, Leos are bastards. Full stop.
Yeah.
You get Leos are bastards, but have the warmest heart. So find a good Leo and you will never walk alone for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And it's like in these star signs that keep posting their own star sign and stuff. And it's just like, why do you want validation of all these things? And like, it's just like, khalas, it's done.
Yeah. I hear you, man.
Like, I should never hear more than once that you're a Sagittarius in the whole time we've ever known each other. It should never come up again in the whole of...
I'm a Sagittarius.
Yeah.
I'm a Taurus.
Do you know what I mean?
What's your star sign?
Leo.
Leo.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like, but again, there's the picture again.
Yeah.
Means nothing, dude. All of this stuff, like I'm so at peace with. And one thing I did notice with you as well, and I mentioned it to Hiba and Ali, that I can see how you go. Now I don't know if it's become natural to you now, but the way you speak is not normal.
In what way?
You go out of your way to make the person very comfortable.
Really?
Yes. In a sense where every second, third word is an affirmation for the person you're speaking to. It's always, bless you, or I really appreciate you, or this, or that, or this, or that.
You're like a doctor or something?
No, but I mean, like, you might not realize you're doing it.
No.
But you spread a lot of happy, like, you get off the phone and you're very happy, or you read a message and I feel good after it.
Wow.
Like, I remember the first time when I spoke to you, like, I wanted you to come on, but by the time we got off the phone, I felt like you were telling me you wanted to come on, and I was like, how did this turn out this way?
Yeah.
Like, you hyped me in a way that I got off the phone just like, oh shit, yeah, you're damn right, you're coming on my podcast.
No. God bless
you know
me.
what I mean?
Shout out to the sister Hiba as well for recommending me.
Yeah. And it makes all the difference, which is with the words, is what we were talking about.
Oh, God bless. Of course, I love what you said. I think the power of the pen, the power of the mic, right? These are all, the mic amplifies your words, right? Like, it's just that. Pen amplifies that. So I think it's really important, man. Listen, I just want to say thank you, man. Thank you for having me. I think it's really important to have this kind of diversity in things that I'm doing. To be honest with you, I've always stuck into this hip hop kind of box, and it was nice to talk about things other than that a little bit. So yeah, man, I really enjoyed it. I hope people enjoy it too. Like and subscribe.
I hope they do. Like and subscribe. No, it was the same thing. Do you know what I was getting at as well? It's like, when I started doing this, after 3-4 episodes, I started getting people telling me what to do.
In what way?
Not podcasters. Just people I know going, you know what you should do, bro? You should have a direction, keep it just about fitness. Or you should do this and do this. And I'm like, no, I should do this the way I want to do it.
Yeah.
I want to get random people in, completely different, interesting people who are going to bring substance to the conversation.
Yeah, I just think.
I don't want to talk about one subject all the time.
Yeah,
I want
man.
you to listen to someone who's a comedian last week, and then listen to this guy who's speaking about hip hop, and then listen to another guy who's spoken about why his left foot keeps rotting every week and he can't fix it. Do you know what I mean? But just
Yeah, but see, that's what you just answered it. That's your vibe. That's what you want to do. Like some other people want to talk only fitness. That's cool.
That's cool for them.
But for them,
Yeah.
exactly. Inta, you want to be like diverse. You want to talk about this is you.
Because this is what life is.
Yeah.
The beauty of life is communication.
100%.
And to communicate with random people
100%.
is like, even when I was young, I used to do stuff like this in the park. I used to go to the park with a chessboard and with a little piece of cardboard, fancy a game, just written on the thing. And I just get random people who'd be like, all right. And then we just have a conversation for half an hour.
I think there's also the art of conversations being lost, the art of listening is truly important. I'm a big fan of podcasts generally. I listen to podcasts and it's just there's something in it. And I just hope whoever listened to us till now, how long we've been talking right now?
We've been about an hour and 25 minutes.
Nice.
I know you got to get to your...
But the beautiful thing about it is like in that 1 hour and a half, whatever it is, if you manage to get something, then we're blessed. If not, then you can find something else. And I just think try to get something out of everything that you expose yourself to. Try to learn it. So yeah, man. Again, God bless you, my brother, and thank you so much. That means a lot to me what you said. And
where can they listen to you? Which station?
Oh man, okay. So I wear many hats. Whether it's Pulse 95, it's a drive time show right here. 95 FM in the UAE. It's Sharjah's first and only English radio station. I do a couple of radio shows in New York, hip hop based. A couple in Saudi. So there's all over. But the best place to follow me is Instagram, big_Hus, and
make sure you put the H there.
Yeah, make sure of the H, please. Yeah, and don't let someone's words validate you. That's why someone else. Validate yourself. Like, be okay with yourself first.
Beautiful.
And believe in yourself first, okay? I'm talking to you, my brother and sister, watching this. Because khalas, why you want to care about what somebody else says about you? I host a Saudi hip-hop radio show in a country that's very, very conservative. I do a lot of things. I'm an autism father in the UAE. I've gotten so much negative feedback and comments from people that I should have stopped from the get-go, but I didn't. Why? Because I'm passionate about it. I want people to feel what I'm feeling. So there's a lot of things that God will throw your way and test you, in my opinion. It's a minor test. So yeah, peace and blessings. Shout out to you, man.
Guys, thank you so much. Remember to like and subscribe. And remember to Jibber with Jabber. Tell them to Jibber with Jabber.
Jibber with Jabber. All day subscribe.
Just in case you were worried about anything, I'm just going to put that picture of that grave just up there and you realize it doesn't really matter, guys. Thanks. Peace.